Hey you guys, and welcome. My name is Tiersten. Thanks so much for joining me today. We have a 60-minute backbend flow ahead of us. And if you know me, you know that I absolutely love backbends. I love that they're like yoga coffee. They just bring in a ton of good energy into the body, as well as they can uplift your mood if you're feeling like you're in a funk at all. Physically, they are a chest, a shoulder opener. You'll find a lot of freedom in your shoulders today. And they are a heart opener. And that doesn't mean that if you have a broken heart after this class, you still won't have a broken heart. What it just simply means is instead of going into this space of where we go, what I call the tech crunch, or what most of us would call the tech crunch, where we just kind of collapse into ourselves, we actually begin to open and radiate and expand our chest region, the heart region. The only prop that we're going to need in class today is a yoga blanket. And if you don't have a yoga blanket, you can simply grab a towel and that should work out great for you. If you're used to working with any other props, go ahead and grab them and feel free to use them in class as needed. So what we're going to do with our blanket right away, you're going to find kind of a longer fold like this. If you normally fold into the shoulder stand fold, you'll just simply open it up. If you have a towel, you can simply just unroll the whole thing and then begin to tightly roll it as if it's a taquito or a burrito. And we'll take this blanket roll to the back edge of the mat. So it's probably like you'll see just the back third of your mat. And then come on to your back, and you're actually going to start with the flat bones of your scapula right on to your blanket or your towel roll with your knees bent, feet flat on the ground. And then once you've found those two flat bones, what I'm going to have you do is press down into the ground and move your entire body towards the back of your mat until your shoulders are off of the blanket roll and you're more on the sticky part of your mat. So this should mean your armpits will be above the blanket roll. Hands can reach out to the right and to the left if you have space. Otherwise, you can cactus them. Here, you're already in a restorative back bend. Your chest is lifted. You should find that blanket or towel roll right at the base of the scapula. So your scapula bones kind of come to a base. You want to find yourself right below that base. Chest should be lifted, shoulders broad, heart open. With your feet, you can either keep your knees bent, plant your feet on the ground, especially if you have anything going on in your low back. This might feel really great for you. If you want to do Shavasana legs, go ahead and extend your legs straight out and let your feet flop open. If your eyes are open, go ahead and close them. And we'll take a couple of breaths here, just getting into the practice. First, starting with the breath. Finish the exhale that you're on. And then take a deep belly breath. Inhale through your nose, fill your belly with air. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Again, inhale, fill your lungs. Big open mouth, exhale. And we'll do that one more time. Take a deep, full breath in, fill up. Big sigh out. And now find your breath moving in and out through your nose. Put a little tone or a little constriction in the back of your throat so you begin to have a textured sound with your breath. And we'll take one more round of breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And if your legs are straight, go ahead and rebend, plant your feet on the ground. Roll to your right or to your left side. Come up to seated and simply take this blanket or towel roll off, and you can just place it off to the side. And we're done with it for now. Roll back onto your back and pull your knees into your chest. Take your knees as wide as your armpits and give yourself a little squeeze as you rock side to side. You can begin to rock around the perimeter of your pelvis. And we'll take a simple twist from here. Plant your feet down on the ground. Take your arms out to a cactus. Go ahead, lift your hips up, shift your hips over to the right side of your mat, and let your knees fall over to the left. Work to stack knee on top of knee. If that doesn't feel good, you can always take a block if you have one in between your inner thighs. We're not here for too terribly long. Inhale, come all the way back up through center. And shift your hips to the left, take your knees over to the right. Oh, that feels good. I got a little pop in my back. Again, work knee on top of knee, and then if you used a block on the other side, feel free to use one on this side. Inhale, slowly come back up through center. Again, pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. If it's okay on your low back, curl up nose to knees. Give yourself a nice big bear hug. And then begin to rock and roll forwards and backwards. Gain momentum with each rock, and eventually rock your way up to seated. Come to all fours facing the front of your mat. When you come forward, spread your fingers wide and stack your joints, shoulders right over your wrist, hips directly over your knees. And find cow pose. Drop your belly, open your heart. Take a big inhale as you pull your heart forward. Exhale into cat pose. Round your spine, push the floor away. Inhale back into cow, open it up. And exhale into cat. One more on the breath, just like this. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to a flat neutral spine. Walk your hands forward about a hand length and then tuck your back toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Find downward facing dog. And in this first dog, go ahead and find some movement. You can pedal out your knees. You can give your hips a little sway side to side. Just working out the kinks. And then when you feel like you have worked all the kinks out, find stillness. Make sure your feet are separated, minimum hips width distance apart. If you need to take your feet a little bit wider or put a soft bend in your knees, if you feel like you have tighter hamstrings, either of those options would be great for you. Spread your fingers nice and wide, and then begin to grip the ground so you take the weight off of your wrist and put it a little bit more towards the front of your hands. Then start to put a little bit more pressure into your thumb and your index finger knuckle joint. And as you do that, spin your inner shoulders forward towards the front of your mat. It'll feel like your triceps will wrap around in towards your face. Then begin to press down and forward into your hands and lift your two sit bones high to the sky. Notice if your rib cage is flaring here. Think about drawing the front bottom ribs in. Take your armpits away from the ground and continue to lift your tailbone and your two sit bones up towards the ceiling, but stretch your heels towards the ground. Take a deep, long inhale. Really find length from your fingers through your hips to your heels. Exhale. And inhale, lift your heels high, gaze in between your hands. Exhale, tiptoe your way to ragdoll at the top of your mat. Once you come forward, take your feet wider than hips width distance. Put a big, generous bend in your knees and drape your torso over your legs. You're welcome to let your arms dangle down here, or you can grab opposite elbows above your head and find a little bit of movement. Sway side to side. Give your head a little shake, yes and no. I'm a huge fan of this like shake out thing. It makes my spine feel really good. And we'll go in for a little chest expansion from here. So take your hands around behind your back, interlace your fingers. Start by squeezing your shoulder blades towards your spine. Keep a soft bend in your elbows and then begin to stretch your knuckles up towards the ceiling. If you have the mobility in your shoulders, you can start to stretch your knuckles forward towards the top edge of your mat. You can keep your knees softly bent still, or you can work towards straightening them, but just make sure you're putting a little bit more weight towards the ball mounds, the front of your feet. Take one more inhale here.
Exhale, slowly release your hands down to the ground. Heel toe your feet either hips width distance apart or bring your big toes together with a slight space in between your heels. Either fingertips on the ground or hands to your shins. Come up halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. We'll do it that 2 more times on the breath. Inhale, come up halfway, connect to something. Exhale, fold forward. 1 more time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Soft knees, long spine. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, seal your palms together in front of your heart. Samastitihi. Pause now that you're upright. Take a full round of breath. Inhale. And exhale. Release your hands. We're going to do a little backstroke action here. With your right palm facing forward, inhale, reach your arm forward and up. Once it reaches the top, spin your palm to face back and reach back. Once your hand is beside your hip, palm should face the back of your mat. We'll reverse that. Inhale, come up. Once you get to the top, rotate your shoulder. Exhale, palm will face forward. Same thing, second side. Left arm, inhale, palm faces forward, up. Once you get to the top, exhale, internally rotate your arm and reach back. Inhale, come back out. Externally rotate, reach forward and down. Now we'll do both arms. Inhale, reach up. Internally rotate, so your thumbs will come in. Exhale, take it back. Ooh. And inhale, come back out the same way that you went in. One long, slow inhale. Reach your arms forward and up. Palms touch at the top. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen your spine. Plant your hands, step back to plank pose. We're going to pause for a couple of breaths here in plank. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Find those same down dog action in the hands. Fingers spread wide. Press through the inner triad of your hand and spin your inner shoulders forward. Light up your legs, tone your quadriceps. Lift your pubic bone to your navel. We'll take one more round of breath in here. Feel free to drop your knees and slowly lower everything down onto your mat. Once you touch down, super cobra. Spider tip your fingertips outside your mat. Elbows will point to the sky to start with. No use of the hands. Your spine is the only thing that's going to lift you up. Inhale, curl up. And exhale, lower down. Medium mama cobra, a little bit of use of the hands. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, lower down. Now a nice big king papa cobra, full use of the hands. We're gonna hold it at the top. Inhale, rise up. Once you're up, exhale, pause right here. Roll your shoulders down your back, spin your elbows in toward your side body. Press down into your fingertips, pull back. Use that to pull your heart forward. One more big inhale. Exhale, lower down. Plant your palms beside your rib cage, tuck your toes, tabletop or plank. Inhale, rise up. Downward facing dog, exhale, up and back. Second time here in down dog, feel free to pedal it out. Give your hips a little sway side to side. And again, find stillness. Take a deep breath in, fill up. Through your nose or through your mouth, let it go. Inhale, lift your heels high, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Reach forward and up. Inhale, mountain pose. Rise up. Seal your palms together in front of your heart. Samastitihi. Again, inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Come up halfway, lengthen your spine. Plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Pause in your plank. One breath, inhale. Exhale, lower everything down onto the mat. One breath this time, super cobra. Untuck the toes. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, lower down. Plant your hands, tuck your toes. Inhale, tabletop or plank pose. Downward facing dog. One breath here, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. Lift your heels, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Reach forward and up. Inhale, rise up. Right back in, forward fold, exhale. Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen. Plant your hands, step back to plank, lower everything to the ground. One breath, super cobra. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, lower down. Plant your hands, tabletop or plank, rise up. Downward facing dog. Pause in this down dog, take an inhale. Stay for your exhale. Listen close, lift your right leg up and back behind you, take a big inhale. Go ahead and bend your right knee, open your right hip on top of your left hip. So as you're here, keep your chest squared with your mat, and instead of letting your left armpit sag down, lift your left armpit away from your mat. Keep your back heel squared with the back edge of your mat. Inhale, square your hip off, straighten out your right leg. Exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb. Drop your back knee to the ground. Crawl your hands up on top of your front thigh, interlace your fingers. Press your thigh away from you, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, sink deep into this lunge. We'll stay right here in the deep lunge. Both arms reach up towards the ceiling. Take a full inhale. Now let your right hand grab your left wrist and pause here as you exhale. Gather up length from your low belly all the way up through your hands. Side bend over to the right. Come out slightly, take an inhale. Head in a little bit deeper as you exhale. One more time, come out slightly, inhale. Head in a little bit deeper as you exhale. Hold it right here. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. It should feel like you're trying to drag your front heel back and your back knee forward. Then sink a little bit deeper into this lunge. Lift and tone your low belly and reach up and out through your arms. Come out, inhale. Exhale, hands to your mat. Step back to plank pose. One breath in plank, listen. Downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg, inhale, reach up. Bend your knee, exhale, open up your hip. Pause right here. Again, resist the urge to let your right armpit sag down. Lift your right armpit away from the mat. Keep your chest, your belly squared with your mat as best you can. And keep your back heel squared with the back edge of your mat. Inhale, square your hips, straighten your left leg. Left foot will step to your left thumb. Drop your back knee down onto the ground. Crawl up, fingertips on top of your left thigh. Push your thigh away, take an inhale. Exhale, sink deeper into your lunge. Both arms reach up to the sky, take an inhale. And as you exhale, let your left hand grab your right wrist now. Big inhale, stretch up. Side bend left as you exhale. Come out slightly, inhale. Head in a little bit deeper as you exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale, head in deep. Now hold it right here. Find that same scissor action in your legs. Squeeze your left heel back, your right knee forward. Lift and tone your low belly. Let energy reach up and out through your both arms. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose. Pause and plank, take an inhale. Lower down halfway, chaturanga, exhale. Cobra or upward facing dog if you're ready for it. Downward facing dog. Pause in your down dog, big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Again, fill up. And let it go. Inhale, lift your heels, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Come up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold. All the way up to stand. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Hands to heart center, exhale. Pause right here, take a breath. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Surya Namaskara B. Inhale, reach your arms out or forward and up. forward fold, exhale. Come up halfway, lengthen. Plant your hands, step or hop back, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale your back bend, cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Right leg, inhale, sweep it up. Go ahead and bend your knee, exhale, open up your hip. Square your hip, straighten your right leg. Step your right foot to your right thumb. High crescent lunge is your inhale. Keep your back heel and back knee lifted, both arms reach up towards the ceiling. Then exhale, bend your elbows, bend your back knee, devotional lunge, open your heart. Inhale, back to high crescent, listen close. Open arm twist to the right, left arm forward, right arm back. Let your right hand head to your left thigh, exalted warrior, inhale. A modified revolved crescent, left elbow to your right outer thigh, right arm will reach to the back of the room. Back to high crescent, inhale. Hands to your mat, exhale, step back to plank through a vinyasa. You can skip any of these vinyasas, meet us in downward facing dog. You can always take a cat and cow. Left leg, inhale. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Square your hip, straighten your left leg. Left foot to left thumb. High crescent lunge, inhale, both arms rise. Devotional lunge, bend your elbows, open your heart. Inhale, high crescent. Open arm twist, right arm forward, left arm back. Exalted warrior, left hand, left thigh, right arm reaches up. Exhale, modified revolved crescent. Hook your right elbow outside your left thigh, left arm will reach back. High crescent lunge, inhale. Hands to your mat, exhale, step back to plank, vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale. Right into it, right leg, inhale. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Inhale, square and straighten. Right foot, right thumb. High crescent lunge, rise up. Bend your elbows, cactus your arms, open up your chest. Inhale, reach up. Open arm twist right. Exalted warrior, inhale. Modified revolved crescent, exhale. Inhale, high crescent, reach up. Hands to your mat, exhale, step back, take a vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg, inhale. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Square and straighten, breath in. Lunge, left foot, left thumb, exhale. High crescent lunge, rise up. Devotional lunge, exhale. High crescent, inhale. Open arm twist left. Exalted warrior, inhale. Modified revolved crescent, exhale. High crescent lunge, inhale. Hands to your mat, exhale. Vinyasa. We have one more round, you guys. Going right into it. Right leg, inhale. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Inhale, square and straighten. Right foot, right thumb, exhale. High crescent, inhale. Devotional lunge. Inhale, high crescent. Open arm twist right. Exalted warrior. Exhale, modified revolved. High crescent, inhale. Hands to your mat, exhale. Vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg, inhale. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Square and straighten, breath in. Lunge, left foot, left thumb. High crescent lunge, rise up. Exhale, cactus and bend your back knee. Inhale, arms reach up. Open arm twist left. Exalted warrior, inhale. Modified revolved, exhale. Inhale, high crescent. Hands to your mat, exhale, step back, vinyasa. Last vinyasa for a little while here. Inhale. Exhale. Pause, we have 5 full rounds of breath here. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Again, inhale. Exhale. 3 more just like that. Fill your lungs. And let it go. Inhale. Exhale. One more round on your own. Listen close, you guys. Drop down onto your knees, come to a tabletop. Take a moment here. We're gonna head into our core work for class today. And we're gonna work on a straight arm plank. If you have any wrist issues going on, you can come down and do forearm plank. And if you have anything going on in your low back, you're welcome to take your knees down onto the ground to support you. And especially if you're not used to planking for a minute or longer, we're gonna do a minute today. But if you're not used to planking for a minute, I would encourage you to come down onto your knees at any point. So go ahead and bring it forward. I'm gonna put a timer on my watch just so I don't keep us longer than we need to be there. So when you're ready, straight arms, spread your fingers or down onto your forearms. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So just like we did the first time we did a plank in the beginning of class, spread your fingers wide. Begin to grip the ground. Put a little bit of that weight more towards the front of your hands and off your wrists. Then begin to spin your inner shoulders forward, and it should start to feel like your triceps are wrapping towards the back of your mat. Engage your legs. If your knees are lifted off the ground, full engagement of the legs. Everybody lift your pubic bone towards your navel. Start to press into the ground, round through your upper back, and then begin to pull your heart forward. For our last 20 seconds, you're welcome to stay right here, or we can do toe taps outside the mat. Right, back, left, back, right, back, left, back, right, back, left, back. Keep it up. 2 more on each side. Right, last one, left, hold it, inhale. Drop your knees, drop your hips. Everybody come onto your forearms. Sphinx pose. In Sphinx, shoulders are right over your wrists. Thumbs are almost parallel-ish to each other. Open up your chest. Left ear, left shoulder. Right ear, right shoulder. And give it a neck roll 1 time in each direction. Nice. And then come down onto your belly. We'll do a little chest opening, shoulder opening, and a little back strengthening. So we're gonna start out with one of my all-time favorite postures, the scorpion roll over. Take your left arm off to the left into a cactus. And rather than taking it forward, take it back a little bit so your elbow and your shoulder are in one straight line. And then find the spider tip fingertips, place them right next to your breastbone. Lift your right leg up, bend your right knee, open your right hip on top of your left hip. You can let the left side of your head come to the ground. If it feels more comfortable to keep it off the ground, you do you. Your back foot is on the ground. I have just the ball mounds of my foot on the ground and my toes. My heel is lifted. If you would prefer to put your heel down, go ahead and do so. Then as you're here, press your fingertips into the ground, your right fingertips. Use that to press and open your chest a little bit more to the right side of your mat. We'll take one more big breath in. And release. Come around, we'll switch sides. Ooh, love that pose. Again, you want to create a cactus with your right arm. Make sure your shoulder and elbow are in one straight line. Spider tip your left fingertips so they're right next to your breastbone. And then inhale, lift your left leg up, bend your knee, open up your hip so you roll onto your outer right hip here. And then use your left fingertips. Press your fingertips into the mat. Use that to spin and open your chest now towards the left side of your mat. One more big inhale. And slowly come back around onto your belly. Extend both arms straight out in front of you. Palms face each other. So a version of Shalabhasana locust pose. Keep your feet separated, hips width distance apart. Start to press the top of your feet down so much that your kneecaps lift. And then karate chop the ground so much that your armpits begin to lift. Keep those actions. Lift and tone your low belly. And inhale, lift your arms, lift your legs, and come up to fly. Keep your gaze down but slightly forward so you keep the back of your neck nice and long. Now, as if your feet are on the ground, press the top of your feet down, engage and lift your legs even more. Lift from your inner thighs. And then as if your hands are on the ground, karate chop the ground. Lift your shoulders away from the ground. Now lift your arms a little higher. You got this, you guys. Lengthen, lift. One more big inhale. Let it go. Stack your hands and bring your forehead onto your hands. You're welcome to shimmy the hips a little side to side. And we'll go in for full Dhanurasana bow pose here. Floor bow, I should say. Bend your knees, reach back, and capture the top of your feet or the front of your ankles. If that's not working for you today, what I want you guys to think about doing is bend your knees, reach back, imagine you have a hold of your feet. You're gonna do all of the same actions, lift up. You're just gonna have to work a lot more of your back strength. If you can grab your feet, grab your feet. Squeeze your shoulders towards your spine and squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. We're gonna keep the feet flexed to start with and keep your thighs on the ground. Begin to kick your feet into your hands, lift just your chest. Once you're there, coil in your upper back, gaze down but slightly forward. Now point your toes towards the ceiling and big inhale, lift your thighs away from the ground. With every inhale, lift your thighs, lift your chest, come up a little bit higher. When you've got it as high as you can go, reflex your feet, squeeze your knees together, smile big. One more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Stack your hands, other hand on top. This time you can windshield wiper your shins to the right and to the left. Plant your hands beside your ribs. Come up tabletop or plank pose. Downward facing dog is where we will meet. Once you come into down dog, separate your feet wider than your hips width distance. Put a generous bend in your knees. Press down and forward into your hands. Lift your sit bones to the sky. Get long through your upper body. And now re-step your feet hips width distance apart. Slow inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, step your right foot in between your thumbs, lunge. Spin your back heel to the ground. Make sure you have a heel to arch alignment. Warrior two, inhale, come all the way up. Take your hands to your waist, and in this first warrior two, feel free to bend and straighten your front knee a couple of times. I'm a big fan of doing this. And then sink down deep, warrior two. Try to get your front knee as close to being stacked over your right ankle as you can. Right knee will point toward your second and your third toe. Reach both arms out to the right and to the left. We're gonna start right here. So it's natural for you to feel like your feet wanna move apart. Start to squeeze your heels towards each other. You'll feel your inner thighs begin to tone. Keep that action, drop your hips down, but lift up through the crown of your head. Keep both those actions, both arms will reach up towards the ceiling. Let your left hand grab your right wrist. Stretch up, and then exhale, reach up and back. So a bound reverse warrior. Resist the urge to straighten your front leg. Continue to bend your front knee and think about pressing your knee more toward your pinky toe. Back leg will stay active, straight, and strong. And the more you press your front shin forward, the more I want you to lift your left inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Take one more big inhale here. Side angle lunges, your exhale. Bring your right forearm onto your front thigh. Start with your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then find those same actions, if you lost them, that we did in warrior two. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Drop your hips so you come into a nice deep version of this. We're gonna do like a little arm kriya here. So take an inhale, stretch up. Then as you exhale, internally rotate your shoulders, spin your palm to face the space behind you, bend your elbow, and exhale, take your forearm to your low mid back. Inhale, stretch your arm up. Spin your palm to face the front of your mat, and exhale, reach your left arm overhead. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Internally rotate your shoulder. Exhale, bend your elbow, forearm to your low back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, spin your palm face forward. Reach your arm over your ear. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Take it nice and slow. Inhale. And exhale. We're gonna stay right here. Press into the outer edge of your left foot. Reach through your left fingertips. Begin to spin your chest, your belly, open towards the ceiling. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, release both hands, come down to the mat, square your hips, drop your back knee to the ground. Half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Shift your hips back. You might need to squeegee, technical term, your front foot towards the front of your mat. Rather than letting your back thigh be at a vertical, I would like it more at a diagonal. So you can lift your back knee, take it back. You can squeegee your front foot forward, whatever works best for you. If it feels like your hands are really far away from the ground, you can stack your hands on some blocks or on some books if you don't have blocks, and find a little bit of movement here. You can turn your foot in, you can turn your foot out. I like to do this little hip thing side to side. Just working into this, our lunar pause, coming to a little space of a little active recovery. Now come back into a lunge. Slide your foot back, crawl forward. Listen close, y'all. 3-leg downward facing dog. Right leg will lift up. Go ahead and bend your right knee. Open your right hip. Now you are more than welcome to stay right here. Those of you guys who feel comfortable with wild thing or flip dog, lift your left heel high. Keep your left arm moving away from the ground. Begin to spin your left heel to the left. Keep your hips high and slowly take your right toes to the ground. Once you're there, from your left inner shoulder, spin open towards your outer shoulder. Chest and belly will spin open towards the ceiling. And you can reach your right arm up or reach it up and over towards the floor. Press down into your base, lift your hips. If this doesn't elicit a huge smile, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I love this pose. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, plank. Your choice, downward facing dog or vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale. Pause, take a breath in. Through your nose or through your mouth, let it go. Second side, left leg, inhale. Left foot in between your thumbs, lunge. Spin your back heel to the ground, line up heel to arch. Warrior 2, inhale, rise all the way up. And again, take your hands to your hips, straighten and bend your front knee as many times as you need. It's like usually 3 or 4 in my body before I feel like, yeah, I can go into it now. And then when you're ready, sink down deep into your Warrior 2 stance. Again, make sure your front knee is heading towards your second and your third toe right now. And inhale, your arms open wide. Again, it's gonna feel natural for you to push out through your feet, so hug into the midline. Then begin to sink your hips down, and as you sink down, rise up through the crown of your head. Both arms head to the sky. This time, right hand will grab the left wrist. Reach up, stretch up. Exhale, side bend to the right towards the back of your mat. So again, re-deepen into that front knee. Resist the urge to straighten it. And at the same time, think about pressing your left knee toward your pinky toe. Drop your hips. Reach up and out. Get a nice little side body stretch here. We're not looking for a back bend, so keep your chest, your belly neutral to the right side of your mat. And then one more breath in. Exhale, side angle lunge, Parsva Konasana. Bring your left forearm onto your left thigh. Start with your right arm straight up towards the ceiling. Find those same actions. Squeeze your heels, your feet towards each other. Drop your hips. This might naturally lift your torso up. You want to create one long line of energy from the crown of your head to your back foot. Then take an inhale. And as you exhale, internally rotate your shoulder, bend your elbow, and take your forearm to your mid to low back. Inhale, come all the way back up. Spin your palm to face forward. Exhale, reach your right hand towards the top of your mat. Again, inhale. Exhale, rotate. Drop it down. Resist the urge to collapse into your bottom shoulder, y'all. Keep pressing out of it. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hold it right here. Reach out through your top fingertips and press down into your outer right foot. Find one long line of energy. Spin and open your chest. Full breath in. Exhale, release, low lunge. Find your half splits. Again, drop your back knee down, shift your hips back, squeegee your left foot forward, and find some movement. One side is always different than the other side. I would say for most of us, the left side tends to be a little bit tighter. For some of you guys, left side is your greatest side. Lucky you. And then slowly start to crawl your way back into your lunge. Here we go, y'all. Plant your hands, 3-leg downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up, bend your knee, open up your hip. Again, feel free to stay right here or wild thing. Lift your right heel, spin your right heel to the right. Keep your hips high, keep it lifted. Go as slow as you can. Roll from your right inner shoulder toward your outer shoulder. Then begin to drop your left toes to the ground. Spin your chest, your belly open towards the ceiling. Left arm can go up, left arm can reach up and back. Press down into your base, lift your hips. One more big inhale. Exhale, come out just as slowly as you went in. Plank pose, vinyasa, or downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Last little bit here, you guys. Right leg, inhale, sweep it up. Right foot in between your hands, lunge. Sorry, take your right foot to your right thumb. Spin your back heel to the ground. Warrior one, rise up. And then in this warrior one, the same action in the feet. They always want to feel like they push out, so hug in. Drop your hips, reach your arms to the sky. We're going to take this into a little thing called Super Cobra, and what's something my teacher taught me recently, where you bring your torso forward at an angle, keep your upper arms in line with your ears. Continue to squeeze your inner thighs towards each other, that scissor action. Now listen close. Take your right thumb into the crook of your right hip. Pull your right hip towards the back of your mat. Reach your left arm forward. Get as long as you can. Take a breath in. Now slide your right hand to your outer right thigh. Begin to twist and hook your left elbow, your left tricep, to the outside of your right thigh. If that's a bit of a stretch for you, spin your back heel up towards the ceiling. Get into it, and then see if you can spin your back heel down to the ground. Do a palm-to-palm action, or you can make a fist with your bottom hand, cup it with your top hand, and then press your top hip into your fist. Find some length from your tailbone through the crown of your head, and then deepen into your twist. There is this tendency for the right hip to kind of wander towards the top of your mat. Pull your right hip back as if your thumb is still in your hip crease. Take one more big inhale. Slowly release, lunge. Drop your back knee down onto the ground. Take your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Now you are more than welcome to stay right here with straight arms, or you can drop down onto your forearms for a little lizard or runner's lunge, as they say in Boulder. Passive, keep that back knee on the ground. Active, you can lift your back knee up. We're gonna go in for the quad stretch in a moment, y'all, so hang with it. Keep your gaze down and forward. Resist the round in your upper back. Pull your heart forward like you did in plank earlier. If your back knee is lifted, go ahead and re-drop it to the ground. Come up to straight arms. Left hand will be your base. Turn your right toes out slightly. Bend your back knee, and with your right hand, reach around and grab the pinky toe side of your left foot. If you can't reach your back foot, imagine that you can. You're gonna work the strength of this posture. You might get a hamstring cramp. If that's the case, go ahead, drop your back leg down, press your right hand into your thigh and open up. If you can grab hold of your foot, start to pull your heel toward your left booty cheek. And then an isometric pull, as if you're trying to drag your left knee towards the top of your mat. Open up your chest. Take one more big inhale here. And release, exhale, downward facing dog. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, go for it. Left leg, inhale, reach up. Left foot to your left thumb. Spin your back heel to the ground, warrior one, rise up. So again, scissor your legs towards each other. Drop your hips, reach up through your fingertips. Keep these actions, find your super warrior, reach your torso forward at an angle. Continue to draw your low belly in. Your Uddiyana Bandha is always engaged here. And then left thumb will head to the crook of your left hip. Manually pull your hip towards the back of your mat. Get long, stretch, take an inhale. Hook your right elbow outside your left thigh. Again, you can use your left hand, slide it to your outer thigh. Press into your leg, use that to get the hook, and then release palm to palm, fist to palm. If you need to spin that back heel up and then drop it down or keep the heel up the whole time, you do what you need to do. Draw your outer left hip back. It should almost feel like your left hip is trying to reach towards your right heel. From your tailbone through the crown of your head, get long. Take one more big inhale. Release, low lunge. Ooh. Spin your back heel up, drop your back knee to the ground. That pose is always really intense. I used to hate it, now I love it. Drop down onto your forearms if you did so on the other side. Back knee down or back knee up, you choose. Again, rather than rounding the spine and doing a little bit more of what we naturally all day do, pull your heart forward. Keep the back of your neck nice and long. We'll take one more full breath in. Drop your back knee down onto the ground. Straighten your arms. Right hand will stay where it is. Turn your left toes out slightly. It's not a big turnout. Bend your back right knee. Left hand will reach around and grab hold of the pinky toe side of your right foot. Again, if you can't grab a hold of it, imagine that you can. You're gonna do all of the same actions unless you get a cramp in your hamstring, and then you'll place your foot down and press in to your inner thigh on the left side. If you have a hold of your foot, or even if you don't, just pull your heel in as close toward your right hip as you can get it. And then isometrically start to pull your right knee towards the front of your mat. Spin your chest, your belly open. We'll take one more full breath in. Exhale, release. Downward facing dog. Vinyasa, last vinyasa of class. So if you want to take it, here you go. Inhale. Exhale. Full breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Ha. Lift your heels, gaze in between your hands. Step walker, hop through to seated. Lie down on your back. You did it, you guys. Standing poses. Whoop, whoop. Once you come onto your back, find constructive rest. Feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees knock in together. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And let's all do this together. Take an inhale, fill your lungs. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Again, inhale. Exhale. From here, we'll set up bridge pose. Heel toe your feet hips width distance apart. With your middle fingers, reach down, see if you can graze the back of your heels. That's how close you want your heels towards your bum. Then from there, lengthen your sit bones, your tailbone, towards the front of your mat. Lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Roll onto your left shoulder, wrap your right shoulder underneath you, roll to the right, left shoulder will wrap. And then interlace your fingers underneath your hips. If that doesn't feel good on your shoulders, you're welcome to grab the outer edges of your mat and try to pull your mat apart. Once you're here, squeeze your inner thighs towards each other and press down onto the inner edges of your feet. Begin to lift your hips up higher. In fact, press down into your shoulders, press down into your feet. Lift your hips up even higher. Take one more big inhale. And exhale, slowly lower down. Once you touch down, find constructive rest. Feet wide, knees knock in. One hand to heart, one hand to belly. So we have been working this whole class for Urdhva Dhanurasana, the upward facing bow pose. If that is not in your practice for a number of reasons and you know them, you have shoulder issues, you have any ocular eye issues, I would just take bridge again. If you want to go for it, let's do this. Separate your feet hips width distance apart. Take your arms straight up, bend your elbows, and take your hands onto the ground above your shoulders with your fingertips pointing towards your feet. So the tendency is to bring your hands in closer to your head. Resist that tendency. Take your hands a little bit wider, and in fact, feel with your proprioception that your index fingers are in line with your outer shoulders. And then grip the ground like we've already been working in our down dog and in our plank. And imagine you're drilling your hands into the ground. It'll feel like your right index finger is moving towards the outside of the right side of your mat, and the same thing with your left index finger to the left outside your mat. Hold that action. Press down into your feet, lift your hips, pause right here. So I'm going to cue you to come onto the crown of your head. Don't put a lot of pressure onto the crown of your head. Take an inhale, then press into your hands and place the top of your head, the crown of your head on the ground. Use your arms so that you're not putting a ton of weight into your neck here. Hug your elbows towards each other and take your shoulders towards your hips. Big inhale, press down into your feet, press down into your hands, straighten your arms to the degree that you feel comfortable you can. You've got this, you guys. Press into your base, lift your hips. In fact, press into your feet. Try to push your feet forward. Use that to bring your chest closer to the back of your mat. Take one more big inhale here and tuck your chin to your chest. Exhale, slowly lower down. Constructive rest, feet wide, knees together. Hand to heart, hand to belly. Now we're gonna do that one more time, you guys. One more round. If you thought, I gave it my go, I am done with it. I feel open, I feel happy, I feel energized, but I do not wanna do that again. Feel free to take a bridge again, a restorative bridge. You can take a block or books underneath your hips. If you would like to do this again with me, let's do this, you guys. Wherever you are, separate your feet hips width distance. Take your hands above your shoulders. Again, take them a little bit wider. Index fingers in line with your outer shoulders. Grip the ground and then drill your hands into the ground. When you drill, your elbows will naturally come in, so you know you want to hold it like that. Lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Come to the crown of your head, pause right there. Elbows hug in towards each other. Take your shoulders towards your hips. Listen close, a cue change here. Press into your feet, roll towards your forehead. Now big inhale, straighten your arms, lift your body. Continue to press into the inner edge of your feet and squeeze your knees towards each other. Then press down and forward into your feet. Bring your chest towards the back of your mat. Try to bring your shoulders right over your wrist. If you get your shoulders over your wrist, lift your heels. Walk your feet in, half a foot's length. Drop your heels down. Everybody press into your base. Lift everything up. One more big inhale. Tuck your chin to your chest. Walk your feet out and slowly lower down. Cue change, you guys. Feet together, knees wide. Left hand to heart, right hand on top. Supta Baddha Konasana. Big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale.
Walk with me now.
One more time, full breath in.
Walk with me now.
Full breath out.
All alone.
Take your hands to your outer knees and gently guide your knees
Won't you
together.
walk with me?
Keep your left leg where it is. Bring your right knee towards your chest. Create a 90-degree angle with your knee and your leg. With your thigh and your leg. And interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Press your thigh into your hands. Let your hands press back. Then straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling. Flex, point, or flank your foot. Extend your left leg forward on the ground towards the top of your mat. Continue to press your thigh into your hands. Let your hands pull back. Last full round of breath. And gently bend your right knee. Pull your right knee into your body. And keep hold of your knee with your left hand. Take your right arm off to the right and slowly guide your right knee across your body to the left. You might need to bump your bottom left hip towards the right side of your mat.
Let me sleep.
And slowly inhale, come back up through center. Hug your knee in. And switch your legs. Plant your right foot down, keep your knee bent. Pull your left knee in and create a 90-degree angle. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Begin to press your thigh into your hands pull back. Straighten your left leg. Straighten your right leg. Continue to pull back as you press forward. And one more breath in. Bend your left knee. Pull your knee into your chest. Supine twist. Take your left knee off to the right. Take your left arm off to the left. And again, as you start into your twist, you might need to bump your bottom hip to the left now. Inhale, come back up through center. Pull both knees into your chest. Happy baby pose. Reach around, grab the outer edges of your feet. If this is a bit intense right now, you can always just grab your outer calves or your outer ankles and give it a little rock side to side. Take one more breath in here. Hug your knees into your chest. If it's okay on your low back, curl up nose to knees. Give yourself a nice big bear hug here. Take a full inhale. Shavasana is your exhale. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Take up some space. Let your feet flop open and spin your palms face up. Take a deep, full breath in. Fill your lungs. Hold your breath at the top. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Relax your jaw and relax your chin. Relax the muscles in your eyes. Relax the muscles right in between your eyes. And let each breath take away some sort of tension, whether it be muscular, energetic, mental, emotional. And use the next couple of minutes to simply be. If you have the gift of time and you are able to stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer, please remain where you are and enjoy this time for yourself. And if you're ready to come out, slowly make your way up to a seated pose. Bring your hands together at your heart center in Anjali Mudra. And this hand mudra is a gesture of both greetings and gratitude. And I say this with every single one of my classes. I am honored, I am humbled that you chose to spend your time, your energy with me for the last 60 minutes. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are, whenever this is that you are taking this class. Bring your thumbs to your third eye and bow your chin to your chest. From my heart to your heart. Namaste.